Hello, my dear friends. I am Dr. Waseem I Khan, Assistant Professor, Shri Shivaji Law College, Parbhani, Maharashtra, India. So, in today's lecture, we will discuss a third part of Tort of Defamation, which dealt with the concept of innuendo. It is a part and parcel of essential of defamation. So, we will discuss with an example this particular concept. So, let's start the topic. So this is the third part of defamation, and in this particular lecture we will discuss the concept of innuendo. In the previous two lectures we have discussed the introduction, definition and types of defamation, as well as we have discussed the essentials of defamation. If you have not watched those lectures, please go to my channel and watch that particular lecture. So in this particular lecture we will discuss the concept of innuendo. As we know very well, whenever the plaintiff wants to get a compensation, he must prove the three essential. The first one is the statement must be defamatory. Second one is the statement must refer to the plaintiff. And the third one is the statement must be published. If these three essential proved by the plaintiff, then only he will get a compensation. So innuendo is also a part and parcel of essentials of defamation. So as the introduction we have already discussed, the man's reputation is his property and it is more valuable than any other tangible assets. So we cannot compare a reputation with any other tangible assets. It is far valuable than tangible assets. It is more valuable than any kind of property. So that's why law has given a right to each and every person to preserve his reputation. So I am having a right to protect my reputation, and it is your duty not to defame me. In the same way, you are having a right to protect your reputation, and I am having a duty not to defame you. To defame means to attack the reputation of a person. Defamation is nothing but it is attack on the reputation of a person. The degree of suffering caused by loss of reputation far exceeds that caused by loss of any material wealth. If the person has sustained a loss to his material wealth, then it's okay. It can be regained. But once a person lost his reputation, so it is quite difficult to regain the reputation. That's why the loss to reputation is far if you compare it with the loss with property. So this is the introduction of defamation, which we have already discussed. Now we will move towards the concept of innuendo. As the first essential of defamation is the statement must be defamatory. Until and unless the statement is defamatory, person will not be held liable for the tort of defamation. Now, innuendo is there. So, plaintiff has to prove that the statement published by the defendant is a defamatory. Some statements are not defamatory on its face. Like, innuendo means an indirect or implied reference. So, if I called A as thief, A is a thief. So I am directly attacking the reputation of A. This statement is direct. This statement is a defamatory. If we read this statement, then after reading that statement, we comes to know that this statement is a defamatory. But certain statements are there. If we read that particular statement, we cannot identify that that statement is a defamatory one, because that statement is a plain at its face. But there is an indirect reference, there is an implied reference which make that statement as a defamatory, and that is called innuendo. A statement may prima facie be not a defamatory. If we read the statement on its face, that statement will not be a defamatory. It may not be a defamatory. So prima facie the statement is not a defamatory, but because of the existence of some latent or secondary meaning, it may be considered to be defamatory. But if we go to the background of that statement, if we go to the latent meaning of that particular statement, that statement may become a defamatory. Prima facie the statement is not a defamatory, but due to the existence of some latent meaning, secondary meaning, that statement becomes a defamatory, and that's why it is called as innuendo. A tells B that C is under the treatment of Dr. Q. Suppose A tells B that C is under the treatment of Dr. whose name is Dr. Q. If we read out this statement, prima facie this statement is not a defamatory one, because it is a natural one. If a human being is there, he may consult with the doctor, and consulting to a doctor is not at all a defamation. So prima facie this statement is not a defamatory one. But if Dr. Q is widely known as psychiatrist, but suppose if the Dr. Q is a psychiatrist, now this statement becomes defamatory. If he says that she is taking a treatment from Dr. Q, it means the C is suffering from psychological disorder. The C is insane. So prima facie this statement is not a defamatory one, but due to the existence of latent meaning, secondary meaning, this statement becomes defamatory, and that's why it is a innuendo. Then C may plead by way of innuendo that A has published to B that C is insane. Now C will be entitled to file a suit, and he may plead by way of innuendo that A has published to B that C is insane. Definitely he can plead such a thing by way of innuendo, and he will get a compensation. Another statement we can take as a innuendo. Suppose if he says that A has given a birth to child. So this is not a defamatory statement by its face, because giving birth to child is a normal thing. But suppose if the latent meaning is there, A is not a married woman, now it becomes defamatory. A has given birth to child, prima facie this statement is not a defamatory. But if A is unmarried, now it becomes a defamatory, because due to the existence of latent meaning it becomes defamatory, and that is called innuendo. I hope you understand the concept of innuendo. If you understand, please subscribe my channel, hit the notification button, hit the like button, and share this video with your friends. Thank you very much.